Hey, so this is my second video. Today I'm wearing a present and I will present to you the topic of cultured meat. So it's a development that has been done recently in the last few years. Why do we need cultured meat? So there are obviously several reasons why animal-derived meat is not the best idea that we can have. For one, the animals are obviously not happy about it. And that is true for chickens, for pigs, for cows, for every animal that is slaughtered. Obviously, if we can spare lives there, that would be a great thing. Next, we use a lot of space just to grow food for those animals. And if we could use that space for crops that we can actually use for ourselves, then that would be a very good improvement as well. And we all know that meat production in general, to get one big cow, we need a lot of energy. And obviously, using a lab to create meat is also energy intensive. But if there's more funding and more research in this area, we probably will be able to make it energy efficient or more energy efficient than the state-of-the-art meat production. Another thing is all those animals are cramped together and live very close to each other, so diseases can spread easily. So what we do is we use antibiotics to try to prevent that. But by extensively using antibiotics, we also create new bacteria that will soon be resistant to those antibiotics and therefore will be more powerful. We need more powerful antibiotics and so on. The circle goes on and on until there is a super bacteria that is resistant against everything. Kurzgesagt made a great video about that. So yeah, so several reasons why we should search for alternatives of meat production. The thing is that most people will not accept the fact that we have to stop eating meat. So what would the world be if you could actually deliver them a alternative that is meat, but for that we don't have to kill animals? Maybe let's start with my vision. When I started my undergraduate at the LMU Munich, I had the vision that I will someday be the one who produces a filet from a cow out of the lab. It turned out to be very much more complicated than I expected it to be, but I will come to that later. The solution for the problems that I mentioned is cultured meat, for example. It's one solution. We need first a sample. So we take or do a biopsy from a cow or a pig, whatever we want to grow. Take those muscle cells out of the cow, just a tiny bit. The cow can live their life easily afterwards. And then we obtain adult stem cells from them. So those stem cells are then cultivated in a nutrient solution which has vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and a growth serum in it. And there they are treated so that they will eventually grow into muscle cells. The growth serum is a bit controversial because the state-of-the-art growth serum is derived from fetuses of cows, for example, and for that we need to slaughter the cow and then extract the serum out of the heart of the fetus, so it's not nice. That's also one reason why I was like, okay, maybe cultured meat is not the solution. Maybe there are better or easier ways to do this. But right now there are several companies working on alternatives for this serum, for example, derived from algae. So there is improvement, and if we can actually make the cultured meat without any animal substances, except the biopsy from the beginning, that would be a great thing. So when we then grew our muscle cells, we take those muscle fibers and put them in a bioreactor, which has a scaffold where those cells can grow along. And The scaffold is there for training the muscles, stretching them in certain ways so that they are kind of stimulated to grow in a certain way. And that's what I mentioned before. It's very complicated to simulate the movements of a whole cow so that the muscle cells will grow like a fillet or something, or like a specific muscle type of the cow. For burger patties and all that, it's doable already. So what you do then is you put the muscle fibers into a meat grinder and turn it into a meat mass, and that meat mass can then be used for burger patties, for example, or sausages, or any other products like that. There are already some companies doing this. One very good example is Mosa Meats. They even claim that they can culture their cells without any animal derived products. So it's basically a vegan burger patty. Another company is Just Eat. They launched chicken nuggets in Singapore a few years ago, but right now they paused their production. But in general, it was already shown that it is possible to sell actual, like, real chicken to customers. I will put the link for both of those companies down below. Yeah, so I think biology, as I mentioned in my first video, is one of the greatest science in the 21st century, and there are so many revolutionary things that can be achieved with it. And I think cultured meat is one big thing. Yeah, if you have any inputs on that, just comment something in the comment section below. Like and subscribe as always. And do you have any other video ideas that I could do? I'd be happy to have some input on that. I hope to see you next time. Bis dann, Ananas.